Okay, so thank you again for joining me this week on the Answer Solutions show, where we speak about e-commerce, social commerce, and generally social. Okay, so what a lot of customers or a lot of people ask about their e-commerce stores, how do we increase sales on my e-commerce store, especially when you're new and you don't know where your customers are coming from and what their activities are on your website. So obviously, it would be best to actually have some tools that you can use to analyze what your customers are doing on your website. But there are a few tweaks that you can also do so that they are quick remedies to help you increase your sales. So let's go right to it. So this is what Bonobos actually did for their website. They're a fashion brand, a men's fashion brand, and they discovered that education really helps in terms of converting their customers. They realized that to when the customers are able to watch videos and to understand that the clothes are going to be fitted well, the rate of conversions is much higher. So what they did was they did a little tweak like this. I'm going to show you my screen, and basically what happened was that they realized that when the customers could see there's a just a emboldened word which says "find your fit" versus what they did before, which is just a thin, fine lined fonts they use for "find your fit." It was a big difference when they tweaked it to become bold and underlined. So, but this is what they discovered. They saw that out of, say, 10,000 customers, and when they saw that, when the customers actually clicked on the fit education, there was an increase of 3%. And 3% for 10,000 customers is, of course, a lot. You can see that there is an increase of product added. So from 407 products, they had an increase to 481 products. The number of customers increased from 1,001 to 1,003, and that just makes a big difference. So that could be something that you want to do for your website. Include an educational video of how to use your product and ensuring your customers that they are able to use the product and how well they can use the product. Another thing that they shared was that when customers are using a mobile versus a desktop, the experience is different. So you might think that the sign up newsletter bit at the bottom is just like a no big deal, but when they actually just change a line of code to move the column, the space where you key in the email from the bottom to the top, it actually increased the numbers of people signing up for their newsletter. And you can see it in this slide I'm going to share on my screen as well. Right? So the percentage increased significantly. Another thing that they also shared was that when it comes to clothing, you have different colors, different designs, and to draw people into your shop, usually you put the most colorful outfits out there. Obviously, not everybody will go for the bold patterns, but they want to see what else is there. So they might be drawn into that bold design or bold color, but they also want to see what other options there are. So initially, they wanted to just make it minimalist. Their website just had a condensed version of the color swatches, and the customers just had to click on the button and the full range of colors will appear. When they did a switch on the color on the code, they actually showed all the available colors and patterns that actually increased engagement. And you can see it right here. From this, they actually moved to this. Big difference, right? Another thing I wanted to share was, sometimes you can get demotivated when there are too many things to do on your website. So what can be done are just little things like this to build confidence in your team. A little increase will actually increase motivation. It will increase brand loyalty. It's also low risk because there's not much cost involved in just tweaking a line of code, and it delivers customers value early and often, and you understand what your customers are looking for. There was another case where this online seller, he was saying that he was analyzing his the customer habits on his website, and realized that a lot of dropouts happened in the search button. So sometimes we just assume, search, people just use it and minimally, right? But he discovered that 90% of people were exiting once they used the search bar. And he went deep dive into it, and he discovered that the search bar was where people first did their searches online. Obviously, there will be organic. He said that organic traffic went into his website. And then they went to search for the product, right, using the search function, but they couldn't find anything they wanted, and they just left without even browsing at other things. So very important to check whether your search function is working and how robust it is. Is it also searching not just the product description, but as well, not just the product title, but also the product description, right? And another thing was to make it easier for your customers to check out. The normal process would be, of course, to select the product options, and then followed by viewing the product, adding the product to cart, viewing the cart to make sure that the product is, the product is correct. Then they would click checkout. They will enter the shipping address, billing address, and submit the order, right? So other things that will actually help you increase sales would be to add in the email sign up button, to add in educational videos or content, click on recommendations. That means, once they have bought a product, you can also include other products that you recommend to them to cross-sell and upsell. You can also encourage them to sign up for your blog posts. For example, if you are a hair accessory shop, for example, you want to ask them to come to your blog to learn the latest tips on how to keep your hair less frizzy in the dry weather, or what accessories can be used to combat frizzy hair, that kind of content. Also, you can have a product zoom. That means this is the feature where people can go close up to the product visual. You can also have an option where they can scroll right to the bottom of the page to see how they can contact you, for example, or how to make returns, and also have a chat initiated if they have more questions. So there was another thing that another seller was sharing. So another thing that another seller was sharing was that they made checkout easier. So sometimes you're using your mobile phone, and you don't want to be keying in too many things in the checkout form. So simplify it with just a name, for example, your email, shipping address. If you can have an automated payment option, that would be great. Like, for example, PayPal. So it's already maybe pre-linked, or they already have the password saved in their phone or whatever, something that's easy for them so they don't have to think too hard. Another thing, of course, I've mentioned this before, is to not make people create an account just to buy, unless you are having this customer come back often. Then that'll be useful. They don't have to re-key in everything. But if it's a new customer, they might be turned off when they have to key in too many things, because they think that you'll be using the information to market your product to them. You want to make it as easy as possible, right? Also, another thing would be to actually put in a really cheap product at the front option for them to consider, so that they can actually be encouraged to buy more things. They say, okay, maybe this product's cheap, I could actually have a little bit more budget to buy something else on top of it. And that will also bring in the free shipping thing. If you can have a threshold of 15 to 20% of your average cart value, you can actually encourage people to add more things just to make sure that they get free shipping, right? Also make it clear to them that returns are easily done. They might not even use this benefit. It's just confidence in your product that they think that if anything does go wrong, it's no problem refunding getting a return on their product, right? Yeah. So that was what I wanted to share this week. If you've got anything that you are doing for your shop that you want to share with us, tips and stories, do let me know. Just leave a comment below. I'll be doing this, of course, every once a week. And if do check out our blog for the latest content as well. Do sign up for our newsletter, and we have a Facebook group that you can join to learn some more e-commerce tips. I hope you've enjoyed this session. I will see you next week. Till then, do subscribe to our channel and take care. Bye.